here, and this is my review for Candy Flurry manga chapter number 7. So, we are officially starting the reset entrance exam, and just as we had seen the chapter before, everyone has been notified that Umino and Tsurugi, their partnership, their team, has a target on their back. So whoever captures them does not have to do the second test, which is a written exam. And it's so funny because all the other teams, whenever they see them, they say, no written exam, no written exam. So it seems like they're all very stressed out about this written exam. So we go back to Misaki in like the watchtower or the control tower or whatever with EDA and Aminai. And Misaki's like, hey, is that even fair? And Aminai says, yeah, this is my exam. I can do whatever I want. Plus, I think it's a fair sort of penalty. So, plus, someone else said that they saw Umino one time compete, like practicing in a combat training with his dad, and like completely overwhelmed a lot of reset agents. So at first, Umino was like a cool guy and seemed to be just like, oh, the reset chief's son, so probably not that strong, gets whatever he wants. And then we saw him crying around, so we're like, okay, this really is the case. But now we're hearing that he's actually really strong also. So I like the juxtaposition of a crybaby and a really strong guy. So that's pretty cool. But EDA confirms all this and says she saw this happen. It's all true. So Tsurugi says, okay, let's do it. Let's get it over with. Puts her hair up, gets ready for the action. And then whenever they announce it, they say, everyone ready your Confeito. And everyone takes out tins with the little sugar candies in them. So, I don't know if you guys know a ton about Japanese candy, but this right here is a Japanese candy, and it's one of the first ones. It's just like a little sugar candy, and they're actually pretty just basic, but they're pretty good. And it looks like this is what these are based off of. And everyone's taking these, and then all of a sudden someone throws a boulder at Tsurugi, and they're super fast and super strong, and I was completely confused what was going on. Well, turns out that the Confeito are physical enhancing tools used only by the reset. So, this is what I was worried about in like a chapter or two ago. I thought, if none of these reset agents can use like sweet powers, then like how good can they be? Like how exciting are these like training events and stuff going to be? Because if Tsurugi can use her lollipop, she just wipe all these people. But now that we know reset have like strength enhancing candy, this completely changes everything. So it looks like these people by themselves without sweet powers can put up with sweet users. But wait till the end, because then we'll see something. So Tsurugi and Umino run. Tsurugi loses her Confeito that EDA didn't tell her about, and EDA's like, okay, oops, I didn't tell her, whatever. So she's doing this on purpose to test Tsurugi. So then we go to sort of like a flashback where Umino was just like crying in the reset headquarters, just in the hallway, and a girl comes by and says, hey, gives him some good advice, saying, keep going the way you want to go, don't just sit there and cry. And this person was, of course, EDA. So after that day, she really inspired him, and he said he wants to be like her, but it's kind of like he's got a crush on her. So I think he just has a massive crush on EDA. So Tsumugi says, "Oh, she's here. She's watching right now. You'll be able to see her after the exam." And he just like suddenly snaps out of being a crybaby. Some other Reset trainee jumps down from a building to attack him, and Umino just grabs his shirt with a fork and just stops him and gives him a huge throw and just completely destroys him basically. But he says he's gonna pass the exam, but he didn't go and like capture him, so I don't know how exactly this exam is supposed to be working. If it's supposed to be like the My Hero Academia joint training exam where you're supposed to put him like in a cage on the other side, because I don't see that. It just looks like he just threw him and knocked him out, and maybe there's a bunch of cameras that are like, hey, that counts. I don't know. So this gets a new spark in Umino and Tsumugi, and they go run off to capture other trainees. When there's a huge explosion, all the televisions go off in the control center, and there's a guy standing here with a pretty cool sun tattoo. Kind of looks like the sun tattoo fishmen have on One Piece. And he's got like spiky Bakugo hair, and he's got like a chain around his neck. And it looks like he's a sweet user. We don't know. We just see a huge explosion and then a bunch of like dust around him. And then there's like 5 or 6 trainees just laying there on the ground where he's like defeated them. And he's just standing there looking at him, and the chapter ends right there. So we don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if this is like just a sweet user who just all of a sudden randomly just at the right timing shows up at this trainee and like testing area and says, hey, I'm going to get him. Or maybe this could be one of the, what's EDA's group called? The 5 Stella Entremont. So maybe he's one of them. Or maybe he's not even a sweet user. Like, it looks like he's a sweet user, but we don't know if he is or not. So he could just be like part of their training, or he could be an actual villain. So maybe I'm predicting if it is an actual villain that Umino and Tsumugi will take him out single-handedly, and that will promote them up to the written exam, and maybe along with, a couple other teams who had previously caught other people. But it looked like most of the training group was kind of knocked out by this guy. Or if it's a like part of the training exam where this guy like works for the Reset, then maybe it could work the same way where they're like, oh, well, this was like a wild card and you defeated him, so you automatically advance no matter what. So, I mean, that's what I'm predicting. That's sort of the training sort of trope for manga, is that sort of thing. I mean, if you remember back to the first, couple episodes with the entrance exam for My Hero, Deku didn't take out any of the robots, but he did like take out the one big one and save Uraraka, and he got to pass. So I think it's something like that. But I'm really excited for this next chapter. This chapter was pretty good. It had a lot of action, a lot of character development for Umino. We learned more about him. He's not just a little crybaby. He's actually supposed to be really strong. And how EDA's not really looking out for Tsumugi, or if she is, she's wanting to better her by, being hard on her and stuff. And another really big thing, we learned about Confeito. So we know that the Reset actually have a candy that's like a drug that enhances their strength and puts them up to par with sweet users. So that's really good, because the battles so far that we've had were kind of one-sided for either way. And I was thinking, how high can the scale of these battles get? And it looks like fairly high now, if these Reset agents are able to hold up with one hand a giant boulder and throw it at super fast speeds. So if they're putting the Reset agents that high, just these little basic 1-star, not even 1-star, they're trainees, they'd be 1-star. If they're putting like 1-star Reset agents that high, then that means more sweet users in the future must be extremely strong. And that's very, very inspiring for what's going to happen later on in this series. So let me know what you think about Chapter 7 of Candy Flurry. Let me know how you are like thinking about Candy Flurry, or how it's been going, or if you're liking it or not. I'm loving it. Like, I can't wait. This is one of my new favorite manga. So yeah, let me know in the comments, and feel free to follow me on Twitter if you want. I tweet about Candy Flurry and other manga and video game related stuff. Links are in my description down below. I follow everyone back. But thank you very much for watching, and have a fantastic day.